You are now tuned in to
the Red Spot Podcast. Give me more of that.
What's good? It's your dude, Sunchild Beats. I am the flyest, and of course, I'm your host of the Red Spot Podcast. And you know we like to hop right into it, but before we do, hit the like, the follow, and the share button for me. And if you would like to be a sponsor or perhaps just donate to Red Spot Podcast, send an email to redspotpodcast@gmail.com, and somebody will return a message. So let's hop right into it. Now, I know that you've seen the Karmelo Anthony case, all right? And that was not only a debacle, but that was complete other bullshit. Now, I'm not saying that what happened didn't happen, because a young man did lose his life, okay? So I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that, in my opinion, Karmelo is not guilty of unaliving him. However, I'm saying that based off of what I seen and based off of the evidence that they presented, it did not appear to me that this should have been a first-degree murder. At best, this was a manslaughter. And I think that part of the reason that I feel that way is one of the elephants that's in the room is the fact that Austin Metcalf was kind of responsible for his own death, because he went over and essentially picked a problem with another individual. Now, I say this all the time, right? And it's not a racist thing, but I speak about things that are factual. And it is a fact that white people feel as though they can do whatever it is that they want to do to another individual. They can spit on a person, they can hit a person, they can touch a person, they walk up to people and want to touch your hair and want to pat you on the arms. And you know, it's almost as if they treat everything as if they are some type of ruler or king and everything else is beneath them and subjected to them. And that's the way that they act. And I'm not saying that all of them act this way, because I know a lot of people that are other races and other ethnicities, including white, that are cool as a fan, that I personally know. So it's not that they're white that's the reason why. It's the fact that the system has taught them as a whole that you can do this and this to these people and you're not gonna really get any consequences behind it. Think about it. In slavery, they were able to do what it was that they wanted to do with their property, okay? And people were treated as such. And then even after slavery, when they saw that black people were able to flourish without them on their own, they got jealous, went in and destroyed that. They did this several times over. And these are the same people who then become outraged when somebody decides to fight back. And that's exactly what this is, because had this been a story where Karmelo just sat there and let them treat him the way that they were, everybody or nobody would have said anything, and they would have just excused this as being boys being boys. That's exactly what they would have tried to do, and they've done that before. But what's amazing to me is that you gave somebody 35 years that was essentially a teen, and still a teen in the mind, fearing for his life. You gave him 35 years because he decided to stand up for himself. After he gave this young man the warning not to touch him again, the young man decided to take it upon himself and not heed the warning and touch him again. And as a result, this has happened. Now, I want to say this. Where does Austin get that attitude from? I mean, there were people at the school that said that he and his brother were bullies, that they were assholes. Now, I wonder, where did they get this from? So when you start to dig, and the very first thing that sticks out is this man's upbringing, his father, okay? Now, his father, of course, he claimed this wasn't a racial thing, right? But he somehow still managed to get on social media and air the black community out and start referring to watermelon jokes and shit when it comes to black people, which he wasn't joking. This was exactly the way he felt. The way he said this shit and let it roll off his tongue was something that he been thinking. Okay? So this let me know right there what's going on. This man himself is a racist. Anytime he sits up and says something to the tune of black fathers are not in black people's homes, which that is a complete lie, because there are a lot of homes where black fathers are in with their children. Okay? And even when black fathers are not in the same home, they're still taking care of their children. So I think although there are some black families who fit that stereotype, I didn't think it was proper to say that about the black community. And I also didn't think that it was proper to say that the black community is on welfare. I really didn't think that that was intelligent to say, at the least, because the reason why is because the majority of black people either work 1 or 2 jobs. Some people work 3, or either they work or hustle for themselves. There is more government assistance being given out to people of other race and ethnicities than there are black people. That is a fact. You can look it up. Okay? And here's the other thing. The other thing is, if he felt that way about black people, then it's no wonder why his son felt as though he was able to just walk up to this young man and disrespect him in that manner. And as a result, he met his demise. So I don't understand why everybody is sitting and excusing the fact that this young man started the problem. But then people will say, yeah, but see, all he did was just shove. It doesn't matter what he did. You don't touch people. You are not God. You don't get to touch people. You don't get to treat people the way you want to treat them and then say how they can respond to it. And because that's exactly what this system does. This is an amazing system, okay? The fact that it's amazing for all of the fucking wrong reasons, right? So you've created a system where people can be antagonized, but then as soon as somebody decides to do something about that, depending on what race or ethnicity they are hit with steep punishment. Because if you want to go there, what about the 2 black boys the 2 white boys who chased the black boy down, shot him in the back of the head, and left him for dead? And they got 4 to 7 years. What about that? What do you have to say about that? They literally chased him down and shot him. Okay? Which means he was trying to get away. But they conveniently forget about those things. And then as soon as they're challenged or one of their children is unalived by somebody black, or somebody black unalives one of them, regardless to whether the black person was defending themselves, they try to demonize that person. And just like even now, right? And it's sad that even though Karmelo is still in prison at this time, he's doing that 35 years. Even then, they're still trying to dig up dirt on this young man. Okay, there is no dirt to find. The young man had great grades. Okay, the young man did sports. He was very, very, very good with sports and everything else. This young man would have been going places had he had the opportunity. You see? And so when people start to try to paint a picture of this young man like he's some kind of monster, that's when, people have to start speaking up, because if they'll do it to him, they'll do it to us. Anyway.
You are now tuned in to
The Red Spot Podcast. Give me more of that.
So like I was saying, this case has a lot of crazy shit attached to it. And right now, Karmelo Anthony is still incarcerated with 35 years. And there are a lot of rumors. And at first I wasn't going to even say this, but I'm going to say this, all right? Because I don't understand what people are so obsessed with this shit about. But I don't understand why every time I look at a comment on social media, there's somebody who is white who has to put some type of meme up or some type of picture up where Karmelo Anthony is being sexually assaulted in prison, or he's gonna be sexually assaulted, or some big man is hugging on him, getting ready to. I don't understand white people's obsession with that. As if sexual assault is something to just joke about. It's not anything to just joke about. If a person doesn't want something to happen and you take it from them, that is sexual assault, and you have violated that individual. And whether you see that as a joke or whether you don't see it as a joke, it really was just inappropriate to say in the first place. This is a teenager. This is somebody who has a teenage mindset. He's not even a young adult good. And so this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's this type of shit. And that's the reason why we have so many ups and downs, and why there are so many issues with race in this country. You have a group of people who just wants to enjoy the existence that they have and just wants to be equal to everybody else. Not trying to take over, not trying to do this, but want to be able to live and enjoy their culture and be able to enjoy their families and just live. Then you have a group of people who are able to do that, and they are able to do it well, but they just don't want to see the other group of people have it at all. So they go out the way to make the reality of a whole group of people horrible. As a result of that, you have a lot of incidents like this, because there is no way that Austin Metcalf's father should not have told him that you cannot go around putting your hands on people. When you do, you have to expect that there may be a consequence, and the consequence that you may get could very well be your life. And unfortunately, it was. So I'm just saying, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. And I'm not saying that this young boy was a racist, but what I'm saying is, according to how his father is, and according to the things that he said, I can almost guarantee you that there's some type of racial overtones or undertones involved in this. A kid learns what the parents do, or the people that they are around do. So everybody can miss me with the bullshit. But anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comments on this case. Now, if there is a specific subject that you want me to talk about, or that you would like to see me talk about, let me know. Send an email to redspotpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll check it out and we'll go from there with it.
You are now tuned in to
The Red Spot Podcast. Give me more of that.